Okay, Matt, we are back for another week, another pod. Um, got a little bit more things to talk about this week because shout out my LA Strong Dodger shirt. Started the season off on a good note last night. Recording on Tuesday again instead. Kind of worked out though because we have the game to talk about,
That's
so that's
true.
good. But obviously a lot of basketball still as we come down the home stretch in the NBA, and it's been March for a while, but it's officially March Madness season starting from today. Actually, is kind of crazy, but
Yep, and it's off
um,
to a pretty March Madness start. I mean,
exactly. So we will definitely get into it um a little bit here, but why don't we just kick things off with the NBA first, Matt? Um, as we always do, start with the Lakers. Pretty much just talk about the Lakers, honestly. But um, yeah, so a little bit of a tough road trip for the squad. I think they lost four straight on the road, albeit was missing some key guys. Right, LeBron out, obviously. Um, Luka out for one of those games as well. So it was a tough trip, but I will say that I thought um, the Nuggets game was a good way to kind of, I want to say kickstart, but it was a good way to show that this team still has like a lot of fight in them, regardless of who is out there on the court, right? So, like you come off the East Coast road trip, they get smacked by Milwaukee, even though Luka has his best offensive game, drops 45, right? Still get blown out by 20. So not a good look. And then it's like, okay, you're coming off that. Now you're on a 3 game skid going into Denver. We know how tough it is. I know we got the monkey off our back earlier in the season, beating Denver, right? But now, no Braun, no Luka. It's kind of like not only them, but we're missing. I think Dorian Finney-Smith was out. I think Gabe Vincent was out too. Like we're missing a lot of our key guys, right? And Rui's still not back. So you're talking about, missing a good amount of guys going into Denver who, we're right neck and neck with Denver for still that 2 seed. So meaningful game in the Mile High City. It was going to be tough, right? So didn't have a lot of expectations, but I just had a feeling like going into it. I saw the spread. It was like, I don't know, it might have been like 15 or something like or it was, yeah, it was 15 and a half. And I'm just like, you know, that just seemed too big for me. I think that this team definitely gets fired up wanting to play against Denver, right? So especially Austin Reeves, he just something about him this season playing against Denver gets unlocked, and saw it in that game, Matt. Uh, Tough one to lose, right? They were up late game, just a few possessions got away from them, and that's all it takes. Still hate Jamal Murray, by the way.
he hits
Um,
every game winner in his career, I swear, is against the Lakers.
yeah, and it's just so annoying. Um, Even though I'm not going to say anything about the officiating, but free throw, ratio was pretty skewed in favor of Denver, right? But this one felt like, I don't like to say there's moral victories, right? I think in basketball maybe you can have them. Football, I think there's it's hard to have moral victories because there's only 17 games in a season. And baseball, it's kind of tough because there's so many games, right? So it's like you win one against a good team, it doesn't really mean anything. Basketball, I think, is a little bit different, especially when you can compete with a team like the Nuggets on the road with missing the guys that you're missing. Um, think it said a lot about this team. And honestly, like Austin Reeves, man, I can't say enough about him this season. You know, go back a couple seasons ago to that Memphis series, the first time we played Denver in the Western Conference Championship, right? I mean, he ascended in that postseason run, and I was happy with his game. But to be completely honest, I thought we had seen the ceiling. Like I thought that was gonna be the ceiling of Austin Reeves, right? Guy that can get you, 15 to 20, maybe 25 as he's feeling good, right? Doesn't isn't crazy athletic, isn't gonna blow by guys, but can get to his spots, be a solid third option. I just think that game kind of encapsulated who he has transcended to this season, Matt. Playing alongside LeBron, and obviously you're gonna take a back seat with the ball handling, but once you get the nod of approval from LeBron, it's like we've seen it in the past, especially with Kyrie, right? Like when you get the trust, then you either flourish or you flounder with Braun. Like that's how it goes. Um, and for Austin Reeves, undrafted by the way, to come out and impress the way that he did and taking his game to really another borderline all star level this year. I think if he's like a number two on a different team, like he's potentially an all star this year. He's like on the bubble, right? And the way he's able to still carry this offense, even without Luka and LeBron on the court, I think just speaks volumes to his growth as a player this year. And, the trust that LeBron and JJ and the team have in him to run the show, right? No panic and hitting big shots. I mean, 13 of 26, 13 assists as well. Like he was cooking. He had 20 and 10 in the first half, which is kind of insane, right? Like he's doing it all for that team. Um, but really the skill is the thing that's kind of blown me away. It's like the handle is so much sharper and like he's so much craftier this year, right? I think you can see he's able to get to his spots. He's able to, still draw the fouls. The like snatch step back three has become lethal for him. And he's just ascended. And I'm just so impressed by his game because did not see this coming. But I think he's a big reason why I'm confident in this team moving forward, and the future, honestly, of the Lakers because I think they're going to want to keep him around for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
So,
I think that was I mean, we were talking about it at the trade deadline. It's like, oh, what did they do? They got Luka, like you got trade Rui, do you trade Austin? Like even we said, like, oh, what if you put Austin Reeves as a sixth man, right? We don't know how it's gonna work with LeBron, Luka having one basketball, but obviously we've seen when it's the three of them on the court, it's in a sense, it's a big three out there.
mhm.
And then I think what's really impressive with Austin is with LeBron out now, it's like, well, Austin and LeBron have been playing for, a few years now together. They kind of know what each other likes to do, how to play with one another. Austin Reeves and Luka, though, as the two-man game, really, we've never seen that till now. And he's basically shown like it don't matter if it's LeBron, it don't matter if it's Luka. I can be out there by myself. I got this. I can put up numbers. I can run the offense. I can be that guy. So I think that's impressive that he's able to adapt without LeBron now on the floor and playing with Luka because Luka's a very ball dominant player. I would say even more than LeBron. So very, very impressive that he's able to adapt to how Luka plays too.
Yeah. And he still gets his own too. Like even when it's the three of them in, like he still finds a way to be
Yeah.
efficient.
I mean, he's not going to
Um,
score 40, but he can give you 20 efficient points,
mhm.
25 maybe if he's hot. So,
Yeah.
and then Luka, if Luka just starts increasing the field goal percentage a little bit, you guys can probably score a 130 a night.
I still feel, yeah, like I said, still feel really good about this team. And another guy I just really wanted to touch on, shout out Dalton Connect, man, because like for I know it was hard on him with the trade. I think that was pretty evident with all the reports that were coming out. But for him to, be able to take a game or two, process things, and come back and just hoop. I mean, you see the potential why the Lakers drafted him and why at the time I thought it was a steal, right? That we were able to get him that late in the first round. Um, you know, not like pure jump shot, but also athletic. Like he's able to drive, get to the rim. He plays with like that same fire that Austin Reeves has. He's just a little bit more athletic, I think, and can go like put someone on a poster, or he tries. He definitely tries, right? So really good to see his game offensively as well shape up. And I really think he can be a really good defender too. I just think it's gonna take some time learning the nuances of like a defense, and their defense. And I still like think he's gonna be a core piece if they choose to keep him. You know,
So it's a blessing in disguise that maybe that trade didn't go
I
through.
think so. Yeah. Worked out. Um, like I said, a lot of good things, but wanted to give DK his flowers as well. But they were able to ride that into a successful little 2 game homestand against the Suns and the Spurs now. So, I mean, you kind of see it, right? Once it's Luka or Reeves or a combination of the two. And another big piece, Jackson Hayes, man. Like that dude is just feasting with Luka out there now. We see why the Lakers had wanted to get like a Mark Williams, right?
Yep. Luka likes the lobs,
He
man.
loves the lobs. And I really gotta give my props to Jackson Hayes because at the time it's like, okay, we didn't get the big at the deadline, so I guess we have to live with Jackson Hayes as our starting center. And I was skeptical of it, right? But I think
I was too.
I think he's shown right in the games that he was out. That was almost a bigger piece than what has been without LeBron or without Luka in this short stretch, right? Just because they lack that rim running athletic center to give you. I mean, he's averaging like 10 to 15 points a game now, right? With Luka in there. So you could tell that they missed his presence. And I think defensively as well, he's been playing a lot better as of late. I think he's improving as a defender as well. So really just good to see. And he's like another guy that just brings the energy. We have a bunch of those guys now, right? Vando, Jackson Hayes, Dorian Finney-Smith is a dog on defense. And I still really like this team. And I think you can see it. Even when the offense isn't, going the smoothest or it's not clicking, like the defensive intensity that this team's able to bring night in and night out, um, that's the things that I think are going to make a difference come, you know, playoff time when you can steal a possession or, you a hustle play that saves you 2 points, 4 points, something like that. Like that's what I really like to see from this team. So I'm feeling really good. Unfortunately, tomorrow they play the Nuggets. Braun and Rui still will not be back for that one. But I think sounds like Luka, he's a game time decision. I'm guessing he's gonna play, right? So I
They
think
got
if
a
you
back to back though, so
yeah, I don't know. I still think you he'd probably want to play against Denver, I would imagine. I know a bunch of the Nuggets guys are questionable, but they're gonna
they
play.
sat out against the Warriors so they could play against the Lakers.
Exactly. Um, so I mean, big game. Kind of was a killer though that the Warriors couldn't beat Denver without Jokic and Jamal
Jamal.
Murray. And I think Christian Brown was out too. So like, whatever. But Yeah, I'm really excited for tomorrow. I think it'll be a good game. A little bit more even, I think, with hopefully Luka out there. Um, but yeah, even guys like Gabe Vincent, who's been playing really well, Jordan Goodwin, who's been playing really well, Vando, Dorian Finney-Smith, like a lot of these guys will be back, and yeah, I think I'm really excited for the game tomorrow, Matt. So, like I said, still really have a lot of faith in this team. Um, I think regardless if we finish, fourth or fifth or second, to me it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna stress like let's be the healthiest team we can be going into the playoffs. Because I really think that if this team is healthy, and I'll say it again, like I think if this team is healthy, they are still my favorites. I know Cleveland looks good. I know Boston looks really good. Obviously the Thunder look really good too. Those are probably everyone's favorites. I don't know, man. Like there's something about this team that I just don't think you're going to be able to beat them four times in a 7 game series. Like, it can be any given night. Luka, Braun, AR, right? I just think there's too many ways to stop them. And they have that defensive intensity now with Vando, with Dorian Finney Smith, Gabe Vincent out there. Like, these hustle plays that are so crucial to winning games in the postseason. So I still have them as my favorite. Obviously, a little bias there, right? But um, I just I'm just a believer. I'm a believer this year, man, and I think they're gonna get it done. So I'm not scared of anyone in the West, really. Um, like even Denver, I used to be. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be scared of Denver. Not anymore. Um,
Okay.
but
Okay. We'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, we'll see.
Playoffs is like a month away, I think.
Yeah, and maybe I'll bite or eat those words later. But as of right now, like it just feels good to not be scared of Denver because I was terrified of playing them playoffs, regular season. Remember last year what I was saying? Like we were having the debate if they should lose to
In
avoid
the
playing
play-in.
them. Remember? Yeah, that's what we were saying. I was like, nah, you're gonna have to play them eventually. Blah blah blah. Blah. Regretted that. I wish we dodged them. But uh, yeah. Anyway, we'll see, and we'll see how the rest of the season plays out with the standings. Okay. Well, let's move on to some college basketball, Matt. Um, we'll actually start with two teams, unfortunately, that we were following, did not make the big dance. Kind of brutal. Um, First one, the Lady Pilots went dancing the past 2 years, looked to be the favorites to come out of the West Coast Conference. Fortunately, they ran into a red hot Oregon State team that just ran through everyone in the tournament, had a big win. They had a big win against Gonzaga. And I
Mhm.
think that gave them a lot of confidence to be able to, uh, go in and beat Portland. And I think this is a pretty big travesty, in my opinion, that the Lady Pilots don't make the tournament. How did they finish 29-4, Matt? Am I missing
29-4.
29-4
And you don't
team,
make the tournament.
and you can't even make like a because it's still 16 teams, right? And
Same
on the women's
format
side,
as the men's.
you're telling me they're not deserving of a 15 or even a 16 seed, 29-4, winning the West Coast Conference, the previous 2 years. I just don't understand really how they get snubbed. Um like
Well, the downside is I think it was their schedule wasn't the greatest. So I think that was probably where they got punished, but they didn't lose. Like they're literally if you go 29-4, and it's not like the West Coast Conference is a bad conference. Like it's not the Pac-12 or the SEC. Like it's not a top tier conference like that, but when you think of West Coast Conference, most people would associate it with basketball for really both men's and women's. So I don't understand how you get 29-4. And they beat They beat Gonzaga, they beat Oregon State, they beat Hawaii. like like they don't have any of these ranked wins, I think, but was there really a quote unquote like bad loss? Like I don't think so. Like they lost to pretty credible teams that are in the tournament. So I don't understand what the reasoning is, who I don't know who the teams were that were on the bubble that got in before them, but 29-4. I think that's probably the first time somebody had a record like
I
that
think
and
I
they
think
haven't
that's
got
what
in.
they said. I think that's the first time a team has had 29 wins and has
Yeah, I
not
think I think
made
UP posted that.
yeah, and has not made the conference. Like, but that is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Like they went 29-4 and you're not one of the top 64 teams in the nation. I don't know. I think you can argue, record all you want, but it's not like the CFP, right? Where there's like 8 teams. There's 64 teams. Like you're telling me a team 29 wins is not worthy of getting one of those spots. I don't
And
know.
they're like blowing out the teams that they're winning against too. So,
Yeah, yeah, not very happy about that.
yeah.
Um, so unfortunately, they get snubbed. Hopefully that you know this is a one-off thing and they can kind of regain their dynasty in the West Coast Conference next year. But
Yeah.
good luck to them in the what are they even calling it now? There's another
It's like
tournament.
the
It's
it's
like
like the
the
women's
N-
NIT basically.
NIT. Yeah.
But even
So
that, they got seated so low. It's like, what the heck?
yeah,
I don't understand. The disrespect on UP is crazy,
I
especially for
know.
women's basketball.
Yeah,
The men's
but
is a totally different story, but
I didn't. No, no, we're not talking about the men.
the
Mm-mm.
men's, yeah, just focus on getting past the second round in the conference tournament. But
Mm-hmm.
gosh, the Lady Pilots, they're good. They're ever since we graduated that year, they've been
Yeah,
on the rise. So
yeah.
yeah, shame that they can't dance this year.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a shame. Um, but that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. It's all big media. They just need um, they need all the publicity they can get. No Caitlin Clark this year, so it's a Juju show, I think. Juju
Yep,
and
the
Paige, I
Juju, the
think.
Page.
Yeah. So we'll see. South Carolina is pretty good too again. So we'll see how the tournament plays out. I think it'll be fun to watch. I think I know more like women's college basketball players than the men's this year. Kind of crazy. Um, but yeah. Other team we need to talk about too. The Rainbow Wahine, unfortunately, tough loss. Started off really slow. I know they came back, right?
Oh my God.
At the end, fell just short.
Slow is a nice way of saying it.
Well, what was the how bad was it?
Well, I wasn't watching because I had meetings, so I couldn't really watch like in between.
Hmm.
But I just saw 22-4 on my app. I was like,
Oh,
this is
geez.
no way. This has got to be a typo. And sure enough, it was 22-4. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
And they only lost by two,
Yeah,
so they
but they
came
tied
all
the
the way
game.
back.
So like I watched like the highlights on the Big West YouTube channel. The ending was pretty heartbreaking. It was pretty heartbreaking. I mean, it's like they come back, they tie the game, they have a chance to win, and then they kind of botch it, and then obviously the last possession of the game winning shot by UC San Diego. So like the only thing that frustrated me when I was watching, I watched the end like replay. We have the Big West Player of the Year in Wahine Kapu, homegrown girl. Like I feel like she's been here forever, but
Yeah.
she's
I
the
mean,
head of the
she's the best
snake.
player. Yeah, she's our best
Yeah,
player.
she's the head of the snake. But with that, I think comes some responsibility to kind of come through when your team needs you the most. And I look back to last year's tournament, it was the exact same thing. I think Hawaii had the double bye. I forget if they were the one or the two, but they had the double bye in the semifinals,
Mm.
and she had might have been one of the worst shooting games of her
Yeah, it
collegiate
was
career.
what
It
it was
was
like
bad.
shooting like 3 of 20 something like that,
Yeah,
right?
she was
I
horrible.
remember that.
Like she just couldn't make a shot that day. And then they didn't get blown out, but even just making a couple more on an off shooting night would have won the game. But she had that bad game, and then this year, I mean, everybody really honestly had a slow start, but at the end of the game, no matter how bad your game is, if it's 0-0, if if I'm the coach, if I'm Laura Beeman, I have a ball. I have the ball with like I think they had it with like 28 seconds. So they get one possession. UC San Diego is going to get the ball back regardless. But if I have one possession to get the lead,
Hmm.
I want the ball in my best player's hands. Unless there is some kind of double team that comes at her, which in a sense UC San Diego should be doing.
Hmm.
But the tape, she was able to kind of beat her defender driving left. And it's like instead of going up for a shot for a contested layup, she tries to like kind of pass it over the top, over the San Diego big, trying to get it to the Hawaii big, and then it gets stolen. It's like, like like sometimes you just want your best player to just say, "I got this.
Hmm.
I got it. Let me take us home, guys, or girls, ladies, whatever you want to say." But yeah, that's I think two games now, 2 years in a row where it's just she needed that extra boost, and it just wasn't there. I'm not. I mean, we're not collegiate athletes, but some people are just born for the moment. I think, and I don't think I can say she's on that level yet. She's a great player. She had a great career at UH. Being Big West Player of the Year, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
But if you have that title of Big West Player of the Year, I'm gonna need a little bit more from you, especially when it counts the most. And that's twice in a row. It's just it wasn't it wasn't up to her standards. I would assume she would say the same thing.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that last possession was just what the heck was that? And then the last defensive possession, they shoot the layup at the buzzer. Like the big, I don't remember her name, but it's like she like barely got off the ground. So in a sense, I kind of understand like you don't want to try to foul as much as possible, but you just want to contest. But I don't know, she didn't really get too much lift off the ground. So yeah, I don't know. It was a bad ending. Yeah, just tough when your best player just didn't quite have enough. Because I think that's what it comes down to. Your team is struggling. You come all the way back. You just need
Yeah.
one play for the win, and you
That's yeah. I
just
mean,
couldn't make it.
that's a heartbreaker, honestly. Yeah, tough. Just a tough way for their season to end as well. After having another great year. For
Yeah,
it to come down to that, yeah, it's
I
just
think that it's going to be tough next year too, because I think they have a lot of seniors this year, and obviously Wahine Kapu is a senior; she's going to graduate. So this is their kind of their chance to go dancing. It's going to be, I think, a rebuild year next year. I don't know who's coming in, who's who else is leaving, but it's going to be a pretty new roster next year. So,
yeah.
and knowing
Well,
UH, we're not going to get big name guys coming in. So, kind of got to start from scratch in a sense, and
hmm.
maybe in a year or two after that, we'll have a push. But yeah, this one stings, man. When you're the number one seed in the conference, just like
Hmm.
UP, when you're the top team in the conference and you can't make the tournament, it hurts. It
Yeah,
hurts.
it does hurt. Um, but hopefully, like I said, both the Lady Pilots and the Rainbow Heaney will bounce back again next year. Because honestly, got more faith in them than the two men's squads
Oh,
from
really?
those schools. So, um, yeah, hopefully, it was a tough year for both of them, but um, yeah, hopefully they'll be back. They'll be back next year. I have faith in both of those programs right now, with how they're rolling. So, uh, yeah, we'll we'll call it there for the women's mat. Get to some of the men's matchups here. Uh, I guess before we get into the complete March Madness stuff, I know North Carolina and Duke had a crazy game without Cooper Flag. Um, just seems like every time those two teams play, you never know what's going to happen, right? But I mean, what an absolute heartbreaker for North Carolina. Should have had Matt and Blaze on here. That would have been, or Matt, sorry, Matt and Ty on here. That would have been fun uh, to hear
Oh
them talk
my
about
god.
that. But
I don't even think he wants to talk about it.
yeah, um, I mean, I saw the end with the lane. I mean, the missed free throw and the lane violation. Like that's I don't know. What are you doing in that situation as like that dude is faking out someone like gonna do
Is he
anything?
trying to fake out the other guy to
Did
get a
they
lane
ever? Yeah.
violation?
Did he ever comment? I didn't even hear if there was any explanation. But uh,
I don't think so.
no.
I think it's different because he's not the star player, one of the star player. Like if that was like RJ Davis who did that, whoo, I think the media would be a little harsh with him. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Um, I saw Twitter
Hmm.
after the game. That was typical Twitter stuff or X. Um, but you can't do that. Like it reminds it's not as extreme, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like the Chris Webber timeout, like something like that. You just got to know the situation, um, and what's going on. Uh, yeah, like honestly, North Carolina, they're in the tournament. We can debate whether they should have gone in or not. But if that's how they didn't make the tournament as a
Mm-hmm.
bubble team, oh my gosh, that guy might not sleep for the rest of his life. Like that, he literally could have costed them the season. Uh, and with the way the game was going to, Duke was up huge in the first half. It's like, oh, here we go. Duke is flexing. They don't need Cooper Flag, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then North Carolina, rivalry games, you can never count the other team out. They come storming back, just kind of chipping away, grinding away, really. And really, it felt like Duke was just kind of like, okay, let's just get to the finish line, just praying for the zeros on the clock. They were just kind of limping towards that ending.
Mm-hmm.
And North Carolina got to him, and they had him. But make your free throws, and follow the rules of basketball. So could have won the game in regulation if you think about it. But that's just bad. Can't do that.
Yeah. Um. Tough one. Tough way to lose. But I mean, the good thing is they made the tournament. Well, they did make the tournament,
They did
right?
make the tournament, and they won.
So
They won their first four games today.
yeah. So I mean, that at least they have that going for them. Their season didn't
Yeah.
end today. Um, but yeah, Matt, why don't we just get into some real quick bracket breakdowns here? I don't know. I'm trying to think of who my final four is gonna be. Um, why don't you give me your one first so I can kind of pick mine.
Okay. We're gonna do Final Fours. Okay. Woo, okay. I guess
Or
I'll
I don't know.
start in the
What do you want to
South.
do with? Do you want to do something easier,
What is
or you
something
want
easier?
I don't know, like Sweet 16, or might as well just pick
I
the
can.
final four.
Final
Yeah.
four. We're going straight
Okay,
for it.
straight into it.
Yep. All right. South region. See, I'm the plain Jane guy. You're the think outside the box, go crazy.
Oh yeah.
But in the South, I picked Auburn. Ooh, shocker.
Shocker.
Yep. Shocker. Number one seed there. Then I'll go to the West. And this one, I'll pick St. John's. I think they're pretty hot right now. You
Hmm.
can always can't always can never bet against a hot team, and especially a good hot team. They just won the Big East tournament. Probably toss up between them and Florida. I know Florida's pretty deep this year, but I'll pick St. John's as the 2 seed. In the East, this was probably just a no-brainer pick for me, but I'm picking Duke, Cooper Flag. That's it. That's all you got to know. And then the West, I just, for some reason, Houston's really good, but I just can't trust them to make a deep, deep run. For some
Mm.
reason, I don't know what it is. I'm looking at last year. I picked Tennessee to go to the Final Four. They flamed out. Not going to pick that again. Kentucky, I mean, Calipari's gone, but they haven't had success recently. Not feeling confident there. So I'm going to go at Clemson. I think Clemson is a pretty dangerous team out of the ACC. They returned some guys from last year's team that made that Elite Eight run. So I think they get over the hump and they get to the Final Four this year as a 5 seed. So I got 2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, and a 5 seed in the Final Four.
Okay.
And I'll say my champion will be Duke over Auburn.
Okay. Duke over Auburn. Okay. That's
Cooper
solid.
Flag with the natty, and then he'll go pro.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Very
Okay.
basic finals, but I mean,
Well,
I'm trying to
I'm
get it
gonna
right.
go so crazy.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, I'll give you my easy ones. I'm taking Florida and Duke.
Okay.
Uh,
So we have 2 1 seeds.
two one seeds in there. I'm going so crazy. I don't even know which team. I'm gonna go. Texas isn't even in, but I'm gonna pick Texas.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean Texas isn't in?
Well, they have
They're not
the
even in. Yeah, they're not even in the tournament.
they no yeah they play tomorrow.
Oh, you're picking the first four. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even see. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. So they gotta win tomorrow just to get in. But I think they're gonna win tomorrow and they're gonna make the final four. How about that one? And then
Okay.
yeah, as an 11 seed, by the way. And then I'm gonna go with I think because I saw D Wade recently, so Marquette.
Market.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me those teams. Just wait. So I'm always right on one of them. One weird one. So
I would laugh at you for the Texas one, but you picked NC State last year, so they weren't a first four team though. That's
yeah.
risky. Do you? I'll give you a chance. Do you want to change that because they do play tomorrow, and the podcast isn't going to come out till the
Mm,
Thursday, I assume.
well, I'll just say whoever wins that game then. How about that?
Texas
Texas
and
or
Xavier.
Xavier, but I think it's gonna be Texas.
Texas.
I'll
Okay.
say it right now. I don't
All
care.
right. All right. Texas. It is then.
Yeah. Unfortunately I don't start watching men's college basketball until the NCAA
Mark.
tournament anyway. So like sorry. But that's just how it's gonna be. Um yeah. Okay. Um
That is really a March Madness pick right there.
I guess that's about it. The only
You could have picked
thing
North Carolina. I think North Carolina, honestly, I think this team is dangerous as much as they should have probably gotten snubbed with their resume. They are pretty hot at the end of the season. They won like 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 10. And
you
they,
know who I wanted to pick? McNeese State, just because of their social media manager or their like team manager that's been blowing up. Have you seen that guy? Amir
I
Khan?
haven't. Oh,
Dude,
McNee, they play Clemson.
yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
5-12.
See that was one I wanted. I have them going to like the Elite Eight, I think,
All
but
right.
not the Final Four. Just because
Yeah.
he's the one with like the boombox. You didn't see? He's like he walks them out. No,
Oh, like 49ers kind, like the
yeah, kind of,
boombox.
yeah, but he has a music blasting, dude. That team is gonna they're gonna do some damage.
See, I think there's a lot of potential for double digit seeds here to actually make like Sweet 16. Um, Elite Eight runs. Like obviously, I feel like North Carolina just because of the name. Like, should they have got in? I would say no. But the fact that they're in, I don't think anybody wants to play them, especially as an 11 seed. Like that team, talent, dangerous. They have guys that were on the championship team, like RJ Davis, when they made it back a couple years ago. So nobody's going to want to play them. I'm looking at their line. They're favored as the 11 seed against Ole Miss. So
Hmm.
that should tell you all that you know that North Carolina, they're dangerous. And I think they're going to go to I think they're going to the Sweet 16. I think they'll get out of their bracket. They'll beat Iowa State or Lipscomb, whoever wins that matchup, and then Michigan State looms potential matchup there. So that's always going to be good with Tom Izzo, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it ends for them, but they can definitely go to the Sweet 16. Hey, you see San Diego? Don't sleep on the Big West, man.
No, I have
five.
them out in the first round.
You
Sorry.
have them out.
Bye
What?
bye.
They have the longest winning streak in the nation.
Yeah,
It's the
and it's the end.
5-12 matchup. Everybody has an upset in there. It's going to be them. I think it's going to be them. They're going Sweet 16. They got the Big West Player of the Year, UH Hilo.
Oh, what
I
the
think,
dude from Hilo?
yeah,
He's a Hilo
Aniwa
transfer.
Aniwa. Yeah, I think he went
Oh,
to
he's a local boy.
UH. No,
Oh,
San Diego. Pretty sure he went. I mean, they're good. Like I think
nah, no faith.
no fate.
Also, keep in mind, like I said, I don't watch any of the games. I'm just saying, still no
Aniwa
faith.
Aniwa. Yeah, he went to Hilo.
Oh, okay.
Aniwa Aniwa Tay Jones. Big West Player of the Year. He went to Hilo for two
Well, the Big
years and
West
then
does pump
transferred.
out some studs. So, uh, isn't Jalen Williams from UC?
Jalen Williams. Which one?
The All Star?
Is he?
Yeah, dude. I swear. Okay,
Where did
wait.
he
Before we
go?
get off of
Go
this,
Google him. Because the other one, Jalen Williams from Arkansas. I know that.
no, no, Jada. He's wait.
He
Which one is?
went.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, he
Jada
went Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
That's West Coast. UP.
Oh, that's the
UP.
UP
Yep.
one. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Him and I guess Poljemski from the Warriors or Santa. I know he's Santa
Oh,
Clara.
oh, okay. Never mind. Wrong one. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, it'll be a fun. March is always fun, man. It's always fun. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
UConn's probably gonna lose, I think.
Yeah. The Dan Hurley downfall, baby. I'm here for it.
The Lakers curse.
Shout out JJ anyway, man. JJ's my guy anyway. We didn't need Dan Hurley. I shout out JJ, man. Shout out old man and the three.
That'd
Shout
be
out
crazy.
what was their pod called again? I
Mind
forgot
the
already.
game.
Shout out mind the game, man. Hey, that's my coach. So yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes, Matt, but yeah, it'll be fun. Anyway, let's get to pretty much our last topic here, Matt. Um baseball's back. That's fun. Felt like
It's like not opening
really
day, but
fast.
sort of opening
Not
day.
opening
Opening day
day.
is in like a week and a half.
Yeah. So not the official opening day, but the much anticipated Dodgers Cubs series back in Tokyo. And I'm sure it was a great experience for all the Japanese born players, all the fans, of course, right, Matt? And I will say, um, watching the game, it was pretty cool. I didn't know like how silent the fans get before a pitch. Like it was kind of weird, you know. And also something about the acoustics or something in the dome. But every time like a player barrels a ball, it like the sound is different. I
Yeah.
don't know if you could tell.
Like
Yeah,
it's like
like
super
I
loud,
don't
you
know if
know?
you could tell from watching like
Yeah,
the
the highlight
replays and
video. It's Yeah,
Yeah.
Tokyo Dome is something else, man.
Even like the foul balls that players would hit, it's like the sound is like I can only compare it to basketball, like a perfect swish, like but this one like that smack of the bat, it's so satisfying. Um, but yeah, it was lit. I mean, the intros were cool, right? Japan was gonna put on a show for Major League Baseball. But yeah, the game itself I thought was really cool. Um, Obviously I'm happy. We come off with a victory. That's probably for me, that's the most important thing. To start off the season, right? Even though we're already facing some adversity. Like, I mean, wasn't gonna be easy. But Mookie, dude, I hope he's okay. First of all, not only is he one of my favorite players on my favorite team, also drafted this dude with my first pick in fantasy, so I hope he's okay. But he allegedly lost 15 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Like
weight.
that, and to me, just putting two and two together, it's got to be some kind of food poisoning, right? Like you would think. I don't even know. I don't want to speculate too
Well,
much.
yeah, because he traveled with the team to Japan, so it just
Like, don't tell me he,
maybe he ate bad
don't tell me,
sushi or
dude.
something.
Yes, like, don't tell me he ate a bad fit, like some bad fish or something. You know.
He had that
Um.
Yoshino bowl and that messed up his stomach.
Oh man, I hope not. But seemed like a good, pretty cool experience for the rest of the players as well. Um. I think they were excited. I know. Yeah, I almost got scared when I saw Freddie got scratched too, and they didn't release right away what it was. Because there was a video going around like Dodger Twitter of him eating like uni for the first time. So
Hmm.
like I was getting scared. I was like, dude, are they all about to get sick like right now during the game? Please, they still got a game tonight. So, but yeah, unfortunately, it was Freddie's ribs, right, that started flaring up on him again. One of the many injuries he played through last postseason. So obviously, game one, hey, sorry, I know we're in Tokyo. I know the fans want to see the great players, but we're not taking any risks over the first game of the season, right? Dealing with discomfort. So,
Yeah.
I
Also,
mean,
update the Dodgers. Their lineup is out for game two. Freddie's not in there.
okay. So, I mean,
Kiki Hernandez is
not
at
a
first.
shocker. Not a shocker. That's why reason we signed Kike back to the team. Reason we have guys like him that can play virtually any position out there on the field. But yeah, man, honestly, I gotta say, I really like how this roster is currently constructed. Batting wise, it's great. Don't get me wrong. When you have Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, and then you can pretty much go tail into Will Smith, Muncy, Edman, however you want to shake it, and then whichever two guys left you feel like playing it are not going to be scrubs either, right? You got Kike, the newly signed Conforto. We got Andy Pajes. We got Outman. Like it's not really, there's not a ton of holes on this roster 1 through 9. Maybe not the strongest team, average wise that you're going to see 1 through 9, but I mean one of the deadliest lineups you're going to see in baseball. Period. Right. But and it kind of didn't hit me until yesterday, Matt. This pen to start the season is probably one of the nastiest pens I've seen currently constructed to start a season. Because you always pick up guys closer to the trade deadline and whatnot. But even last night, right? They're able to go straight from Yamamoto, who only gave up 1 run, 5 solid innings, right? And when you're able to go from Yoshi to give you 5, and then go immediately into who was it? Obanda into Kasperius, who's a young, like he's young, but I liked what he gave us last year. And then Trinan and Tanner Scott to end it. We don't even use all of our, key guys. There's still got Kirby Yates in there, right? I think Gratterall's still kind of hurt, but you still got a lot of lively arms returning from last year to like Kolpek is still
Is he
gonna
hurt?
come back. Yeah, he's hurt,
Yeah.
but he's gonna come back eventually. Like this pen is insane. It is disgusting. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about our chances right now. Um like I said, starting pitching, like I feel bad for Dave to try to set the starting, pitching rotation because you got guys like Dustin May coming back, like Gonsolin coming back, Bobby Miller. They don't want to give up on just yet, right? And then you got the five essential aces out there. So excited, like you said, to see Roki tonight, but glad they were able to handle business, Matt. And I think the thing that's so impressive about the Dodgers and about this organization and how the players respond is um you know they're the World Series champs, right? But they're still going to hustle. They're still going to make the right plays. They're still going to play unselfish baseball, right? And they're going to play good defense. And to me, that is like the epitome of this organization right now, and why I'm so confident in them moving forward. Um, I mean, obviously, we saw in the World Series. Not to sorry to bring it up, but defense obviously matters in the postseason. So when you're able to see guys take defensive reps before the games and put such an emphasis on the defensive side of the ball, like I don't know, barring health, there's no reason this team shouldn't go back to back. Like
Barring
just
health, there's the line.
barring health, barring health, there's no reason that this team should not go and win another World Series this year. Like they got better than they were last year, right? So if they're able to keep, and I think we're gonna see it all season. They're gonna be one of the best teams in walks and chase percentage, right? They're gonna swing at strikes. They're gonna challenge you to come in there. Um, they're gonna, make you find gaps because they're gonna play good defense, and the pitching is gonna be better than it was last year. So I don't know. Like I said, there's no reason this team shouldn't go back to back, in my opinion. But great start to the season. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, you still got to play the games. I know, and I'm always the one that says, it's only April. It's only May. It's only June, right? But I just think how this organization is rolling right now. Yeah, there's no reason that they shouldn't be the favorites to win it all this year. So I'm excited.
Your division is still tough though.
It
Like
is a
the
tough
Padres are
division,
still there. They're always gonna
and they're
scrap.
going to be hungry.
Arizona, I think, got better. You got Corbin Burns now.
They
Got to face him.
one game from missing the playoffs last year. They got really hot at the end. Ketel Marte I mean, he's the best second baseman in baseball. So like they got the West is still going to be tough. I think the Giants are going to have a better year with Adames. Sorry, Colorado. I'm sorry, guys. Like
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do, but yeah, I think it's good. But like I said last year, right, Matt? The competition I think helped this team because the previous seasons, we're the clear cut number one and we're riding high going into the playoffs and we choke. But I think keeping that competition all the way till game 162 really helped this team. And all the adversity they went through last year. I think it helps to have a lot of those returning guys and remember all the adversity, all the remember the times you choked, um, and I think that's gonna stay with them. So like they've been through it all, and it just feels like it's the start of a potential. I don't know. I think it's the start of a potential dynasty. Like there's no reason it shouldn't be, in my opinion. So we'll see. Obviously, it's game one out of 162. Still got to play the games. A lot of things can go wrong in the course of a baseball season, but I'm confident in this organization. I'm confident in this team. Trust Dave. Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
Maybe the baseball gods are gonna humble you because I've been humbled many, 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 many times over
Okay, well, I've
a
been
baseball
humbled as
season.
well. Like I told you, the losing to the Cardinal or the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks and the Padres in those back-to-back years was terrible. I think the Padres one still stings them. Like that, I was one of the most sickening playoff losses ever. I mean, the Diamondbacks one was just sad because we got absolutely obliterated in both games, fresh out the gate. But that's what made last year so special. So hopefully, like I said, this they're pushing the right buttons at the right times. They have the right culture, which I think is huge. So, you know, there's a reason players want to play in LA right now out of all the teams, right? Yeah, you can say the money, blah, 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 the lifestyle of LA. But the thing you've been hearing over and over again about the Dodgers is players want to play here because they take care of the players, right? They put such an investment into these players. I think that's a big reason why, Conforto wanted to come to the Dodgers because you look at Teoscar Hernandez, right? Like kind of that bubble potential all-star player. In Seattle, things don't work out. He comes in, rejuvenates his career, and he's able to sign, an extension. I think Conforto's trying to be that similar situation where, Dodgers take a chance on him. He's able to get his groove back. And even if he doesn't return with the Dodgers again, look for that long-term deal somewhere else. So there's a reason team players want to come to LA. And I think it's more than the sunshine and you're going to get paid and the luxury of living in LA. I
So it
really
helps
do
that
think
Otani's there too.
it does help that Shohei is there. I'm sure that helps a lot, actually. But I think the investment that the team puts in its players, health, taking care of their families, taking care of their careers, like to me, I think that also is a big reason why teams want to go. So I'm looking forward to it, Matt. Um, should be a fun one. Should be a fun year. Hopefully today's game is good too, because we get the official debut of Roki on this team, and I'm sure a lot of Dodger fans like myself are eager to see how he performs against quality MLB hitters. Might be a little bit rough, but if last year's Soul Series taught me anything, it's yeah, you don't judge well, and I I didn't even have anything to learn because I was saying last year when Yoshi had that rough start, guys, his first start, right? We know the stuff he has. Give He'll be okay. And he looked bad. He looked real bad last year in Korea. So even if Roki comes out and lays an egg, you can argue he might have better raw stuff than Yoshi does, right? Uh, like maybe he's not as polished, but if you want to
Power,
just
he's
talk
a
about
power pitcher.
pure stuff, I mean, you see his splitter. Like Yoshi has a nasty splitter. Shohei has a nasty splitter. You ever see Roki's splitter? Nah, there's no way. So it's gonna be fun this year, Matt. I think I'm gonna watch the most Dodger regular season games than I ever have this year, just because every night. Oh, it's the fourth night of blah blah blah. Who is it? Oh, Glass now, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know what the order is gonna be, but it's like oh, it's some team's fifth pitcher against Roki's on the mound tonight. Oh, okay, gotcha. So like knock on wood, barring health, lots of things can go wrong. But yeah, excited for this season, excited for this team. And hopefully they keep that, motivation to want to go back to back. And I think they have the potential to do it. So yeah, exciting stuff for me this year. Um how are you feeling as a Yankees fan? Just curious before we wrap it up here.
I'm not feeling good. Like my guys are all injured. Like
Yeah, the
key
Garrett Cole
guys.
one was
Tommy
brutal.
John, Luis Heel, his lat is sore. Like he's not gonna come back till like summer if he's like lucky, honestly. Clark Schmidt's hurt, but that one's not too serious. I think he'll be okay, at least by opening day ish. But And then the big one, obviously, too, is Stanton. Just it's like Cole, Heel, Stanton. Garrett Cole is the ace. Luis Heel, reigning AL Rookie of the Year, gone.
And
Basically, you gotta
Giancarlo
assume they're
Stanton,
gone.
your best playoff
Yeah,
performer.
and Stanton coming off a hot playoffs last year. Who knows what's going on with him? Because it seems like now everything is hurt. And that's one of my biggest gripes of Giancarlo Stanton. It's like, here we go again. I told Wade, I was like, oh, I bet you by opening day I'm gonna be finding a way to shit on him again. But it's like, here we go again. Like,
Well, he's not getting any younger.
yeah, but that's why. That's exactly why we shouldn't have paid him or traded for that big contract. We could have just waited a year, get Bryce Harper, get Manny Machado. Those guys wanted to come to New York, especially Harper, man. I loved Harper's one of my favorite players. He he would match so well in pinstripes, and now he's going to be a Philadelphia Philly for the rest of his career. Maybe, just maybe, the Angels can do some Angels things. Just give us Mike Trout, just
Do you want Mike Trout though right now, man? I
I don't
love
know.
I
I
love
don't
Mike
know.
Trout. I love Mike Trout.
I don't even want
But
Mike Trout on the field. I just want him hitting. He can be the DH.
mm, yeah, I would take
He
that
can be
too.
the DH. He can play first base if he wants to. Well, I mean, we got Goldie, but I don't know. I'll talk about the Yankees later. It's the Dodgers week, Tokyo series. Yankees don't play till March 27th, which is when everybody else debuts. But we can talk about them next
Okay.
week.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But I'm not happy right now. You
Okay.
see,
Well,
you're gloating, Roki. Oh, he's my fifth starter. I got Carlos Carrasco or Marcus Stroman, a guy we're trying to trade in the offseason. Now he's going to be our number three. Like, what the heck? How am I supposed to get excited about this? I mean, I'm going
no.
to get excited. It's baseball.
Have faith in Brian Cashman, man. Come on.
What's next on the agenda?
Anyway, that's a good place to wrap it. Um yeah, we don't need to talk about baseball anymore. Let's just wrap it up here. We didn't have a ton. So Matt, yeah, we'll get to our quick hitters. Who's our Jerry Jones award this week?
Oh, okay. Well, it's Jerry Jones Award winner is or I should say, ex-Cowboy. And before I get into that, since we're talking about the Cowboys, I have to bring this up. But Jerry Jones easily could be the winner this week because how in the heck did we let this guy leave? He's gone.
He's
He's gone.
officially gone.
We let
Couldn't
him. We let him go.
We should have got him on the pod too. I forgot. Dang it. Maybe it's not too late.
Oh no! I mean, he always used our account anyway, so we'll tag him. I'll still show him support. It was bound to happen, but Jerry, come on, how do we let this guy go? We don't have any quarterback
And now
except
you got to
Dak.
draft a backup. So
Yeah, I don't know who we're gonna draft.
hey, I saw DG getting linked to Dallas. Maybe.
I don't know. I saw him, Kyle Shanahan.
Actually, it's funny. He's kind of a hot commodity right now as a
Yeah.
backup. They're viewing him as a backup to
It'd be
develop. But
crazy is if the 49ers drafted Gabriel and they let Purdy walk and then they
no
do the
shot. Yeah, okay. That's no.
they don't want to pay their quarterback, so we're gonna draft another cheap guy. That
Oh
would be
man.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, that ain't gonna
But
happen. But
like, okay, honestly, back to the original question. Cooper Rush, he's gone. So Jerry Jones, you're automatically an award winner for your own award if you let the GOAT walk. But best wishes to Cooper Rush, man. I'm always gonna cheer for him. I'm cheering for the Ravens next year. I hope they get that Super Bowl ring. And then maybe Lamar, he has like a Nick Foles moment. That would be like incredible. Lamar gets like cramps or something, can't play in the Super Bowl. And then Cooper Rush saves the day, takes down who's going to be in the Super Bowl. What if he takes down Dallas? That would be insane. I would be so happy yet so torn. But Cooper
uh,
Rush beating Dallas, that would be honestly that would be great for me. I can't lose. But
Well,
Cooper Rush is gone, so a sad day. So Jerry Jones is an award winner. But in reality, the actual award winner has to be DeMarcus Lawrence. He just had some very questionable comments. He goes to Seattle in free agency, and then ultimately he dashes Dallas and says they're not Super Bowl contenders. But if you look into it with context, people are saying, well, he's telling the truth. Yeah, he might be telling the truth. One, why do you speak on it so quickly? You haven't even played a single game with the Seahawks, telling reporters, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to win a championship. I think we can win here." What makes you think Seattle is going to be a Super Bowl contender? A team that just traded away their starting quarterback, like and you're calling yourself a contender? Like, I'm sorry, is Sam Darnold going to be your savior? Maybe. But who in their right
ah,
mind trades their starting quarterback away and then says, "Oh, I'm a Super Bowl contender"? No team does that. So just I don't know. You better watch what you say. But also, speaking of DeMarcus Lawrence, he's basically the problem. He was the problem in Dallas, at least on the defensive side, because as I recall, we can literally go on YouTube. He went on First Take. I remember like 2 years ago when we played. I think it was before the Packers. Who was that? Who did we lose to before the Packers? Was it it might have been the 49ers, I think. Yeah, it was the
I don't know.
49ers. It was the 49ers because we beat Tom Brady, sent them into retirement. And then
Oh,
I think it was that year. But anyway, regardless, he went on First Take, and then Stephen A. Shannon, they're asking him, "Oh, well, how come the Cowboys, didn't pan out this year when they had a good roster?" Brother goes on live television and tells everybody he is burnt out, retired. Bro, you're in the middle of the playoffs. What guy? Yeah, everybody's tired and sore, but you're not going to say that to the public. So obviously, I don't think any other player would say that. Everybody's maybe they're thinking that, but you don't go say that on national TV. So you know what that tells me? He was tired. He was tired. He was tired. He didn't want to go through the grit and the grind. And he's a veteran. He's a guy that's been on this team for 10 plus 10 seasons already. And he's telling people he's tired. How are people supposed to respect that kind of guy in a locker room? Like, and then now, Micah Parsons and all these other guys are coming after him.
saw
Jordan
that.
Lewis, Jordan Lewis made some comments, saying that they didn't want him, yada yada yada. But his was a little different, I think. I think I understand from Jordan Lewis's standpoint. Um, he's been through multiple contracts with this team, but he wasn't the guy that went on national television and told everybody he was tired and burnt out. I'm sorry. When you say that, you lose all respect. And especially as a guy that was on the team for so long. He's like that Zach Martin, that Dak Prescott, the CD Lamb kind of role. Like you just don't do that kind of stuff as a leader. So in a sense, I'm glad he's gone because I don't want to have a guy telling me he's tired in the midst of a playoff run. So good riddance. Get out of here. You ruined your chance at being a Cowboys legend. But I can't forgive you for what you said with that. Telling the public you're tired because oh yeah, we won a playoff game. We're tired. We can't get over the hump. Terrible. Weak mentality. So yeah, go have fun in Seattle and rot in last place.
Oh, jeez. Well, yeah. Well, tell me how you really feel, Matt.
Yeah,
Dang.
Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, that's my guy. He's speaking up. I know he opens his mouth a lot, but
I
he's
thought he's
backing up
like
his
missing workouts or something. We'll get to that later.
Micah Parsons. He's trying to get a contract, man.
Yeah, he's
Like,
trying to get a contract. Um, okay. Well, fan tribute then. Um, you know what? I gotta give it to two guys. Nothing crazy. I was gonna go Lakers. I was thinking, what should I do? But you know what I respect? Shout out to Jamar and T. Higgins. Like more so, I don't know, maybe more so to Jamar or whoever, but for those two guys to be on the same page, right? Um and able to negotiate their contracts together where that's pretty rare. You see from two wide receivers to wanna stay together that bad. Um Especially when T. Higgins has wide receiver one potential on, probably any other team. We're always going to have the health concerns with T. Higgins, don't get me wrong. But when healthy, he's clearly one of the best wide receivers in the game. I would argue he's probably, you could say he's a top 10, top 12 receiver in today's game, right? But I just thought that was so cool that those two guys are so close and committed to staying in Cincinnati. That they're able to kind of negotiate contracts for both of them. Um, so shout out to them for that. I will say, however, as a caveat, if I'm Cincinnati, I can't believe they did that. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that Cincinnati,
Their
after what
defense
we
about to be
after what we
horrors.
just saw in the playoffs this past year, where clearly, yeah, it's great to have, all this talent around you. But if you can't protect, first of all, you can't protect Joe Burrow, what is it going to matter having two, top 10 receivers on the team if Joe's not going to have time to get the ball to them, first of all? Second of all, you see how the Eagles beat Patrick Mahomes, right? They got after him. And what are you doing? Let's let the NFL's leading sack leader go look for a trade after we lose Sam Hubbard. Huh? Like, what are we doing? It we're that's what we're gonna throw for 600 yards a game, right? But we're gonna lose, you know, 38 to 35 every single night. Like, I don't understand. I think it's so cool for Jamar and T Higgins to do that, but if I'm Cincinnati, like, I'm sorry. I'm taking that money that I'm paying T, and I'm gonna go build the trenches up on both sides. That's just me. Maybe that's just me. That's just how I think the formula to success is in today's NFL now. But I mean, kind of always has been won and lost in the trenches, right? But what do I know? I'm just a casual fan. I'm not a GM of any team. You got Andre, you got the local boy, Yossi Vosh. How much help do you really need? So um yeah, that's my fan tribute for this week, Matt. But why don't you get to our sports fact?
All right, we're recording on Tuesday, March 18th. Oh, back in 1995, this guy by the name of Michael Jordan had the famous newspaper article that said two words: "I'm back." He ended that 17-month hiatus, returned to the NBA, and then won another three-peat with the Bulls after that.
Yeah,
So
pretty
pretty goat stuff right there. Not gonna
goat
lie.
stuff. Goat stuff. Not gonna lie, not my goat, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Hey,
goat
but that's
stuff.
that's goat stuff right there. Two three
Hey,
peats.
yeah, yeah. There's a reason. Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
the goats for sure.
Didn't pan out in baseball, but that just shows you baseball is not meant for everybody.
That's true.
Even the great Michael Jordan can't play baseball like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll wrap us up, Matt. That was a good pod. Got some fun stuff that we got to talk about there. It's probably our longest like quick hitter segment we've had in a while. But
Two
yeah,
two rants this way.
yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Got more stuff. Like we said, March Madness is kicking off. So expecting some crazy finishes already in that first round. Can't wait for the upsets there. But probably catch some of the Dodgers game tonight too. We can speak on that next week. So yeah, we'll have stuff to talk about next week, guys. As usual, we appreciate you guys listening and watching, tuning in, however you guys are doing it. Please have a good week, stay safe, and we'll catch you guys next week.